Well, we're back at the Frida mine. There's Frida. But today, special day, got approved by BLM. So I can put these out here finally. I got 2 of them. And the map that I drew for BLM. And all the other stuff, which is my information. Yavapai County recorders. Whoa. So that's all good. I'm not really sure where I'm going to put these yet. I'll probably put one on the location marker, or location monument, just because that makes sense. Looks like somebody's been here. There's some tracks going up. Looks like side by side. But yeah, we'll make sure that all trespassers will be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. I saw here someone moved some rocks too, but other than that, I don't think anything's been taken. We will see. But yeah, I'll check back whenever I get these and some old nails. I didn't bring any nails, I just brought a hammer, so we'll put these up with some original mine site nails just to repurpose, and for looks, you know. They're not square nails, but they are old. Starting to make our way up. She's already faster than I am. But one of the reasons that I picked this site before staking it and reclaiming it is this road. The access to this road is amazing. Had to cut back some of the brush to make it passable, but it wasn't even that bad. So the road cut was here, and I just had to maintain a little bit. And having a lot of Conservation Corps background, that was simple enough. So I'll probably put one of these signs here, and the other one I'll put somewhere else. So we'll leave that one there. I'll stick it right on this tree. So I was told don't cut more than 1/3 of the tree because it'll die. So I don't know if that works for pine too, but pine self-heals. So I'm not really concerned that I cut this back too much. Got some old corrugated, probably a roof. The interesting part about this mine specifically is, yeah, someone's definitely been over here. Looks like they had hell of a time getting up and getting down too. The road's all torn up. Another reason I like this mine is in this area, this is the only vertical shaft. And I'll show you the shaft here in a second. But this is where the shaft building was. There's a bunch of old timbers, and this is where I'm going to be gathering my nails specifically. Yeah, like here's a good piece. Yeah, it's got a nail in it. Yeah, we'll reclaim that nail. It looks good enough for our uses. But plenty of nails. There's some bigger nails up in there. But yeah, the way I found this area was I saw a lot of the cuts that they did on LiDAR, and then from there I did my own exploration. So there's a dump right here, there's a nice area, and it just dead ends. So this is where the ore was kept, or at least the ore bin was. And between this tree and that area, which I believe was the pad for the hoist, there's the shaft. It doesn't look like much of a shaft, but it is vertical, and it's been over 70 years since anyone's done anything here, so no wonder it filled in. But the trend of the vein is basically this direction, vertical. And it kind of does dip west a little bit, but mostly vertical. There's a small tailing dump right there when they trenched, and I guess they found something good enough that they decided to sink the shaft here. But I'll make my way up to the pad and you can see what I'm talking about. And I had to do a little bit of research on a specific thing that I've seen a lot of in these old mines is they bend these over after they make the concrete pad, and they bend these over because they're less likely to rip out under tension if they're bent, more likely if they're straight. So, oh, here's another nail I could use. It's probably from the building that was here long, long ago. But the view is just superb. On top of mining, this would be a good camp for hunting. But that's a later matter. Oh, there's another anchor I've never seen before. And oh yeah, there's 4. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. All right here. So the pad even extends over there, and you can see how much material has built up over the years. And only the exposed part is here, and the rest of it's eroded out the bottom side of it. So weather has definitely had a play here. And if we go this way, I'll show you what I was talking about regarding the pit or the ditch. We got a ore pile here. It's mostly gang material and also the granite that held the vein. So there's not much quartz, but there are some. There are some pieces of quartz. But here's the pit. And someone's been here too, because I didn't put those rocks there. So yeah, this is the strike of the vein. They trenched, they found something good. Found a good bit of hand stacks here, signifying that they were putting the ore there, sampling, before they decided where to sink the shaft. But the shaft is right there. The hoist house is right there. The road ends right here. And the pad for the hoist with the steel rope would be right here. So that's my interpretation of the mine site so far. And I did a preliminary dry wash here, mostly to get some of these bigger quartz pieces out, and then I would toss them in a bucket. But yeah, this tailing pile has a lot of good stuff. I might continue to do that. Like, I don't know if I can get this rock out, but yeah, you can see a big chunk of quartz right there. Yeah, don't have my pick, or I do, I just don't want to get it out of my bag just yet. But yeah, there's a lot of good stuff here. Oh, that's a piece of quartz. Yeah, it almost looks like, yeah, that was the side of the slick. Definitely someone's been breaking it up. So, not allowed. I don't care what anyone says. You know, this is a mining claim and I paid my dues, and it should only be accessed by me and people that I allow, not just random strangers. But if we go this way, there continues to be trenches, and sometimes they poked in. So I'm wondering if they stoped up from the shaft and daylighted, but there's no cribbing or anything like that. So I'm assuming all of this was just for sampling purposes. There's another big pile of quartz here, which, you know, this might be a high grade pile. I might go ahead and take this one of these days. I just don't have the capacity as far as crushing goes for that right now. But the tailing piles are decently big. There's one right here, standing on the very top. There's one right there in the shade that you can't really see, at least on the camera here. But yeah, there's a lot of material, a lot of work that's been done here, a lot of rock that's been moved from under the ground. So this all is good news to me, because that means that it was worth their time. And if it was worth their time in the 50s, it's probably worth my time in the current age. And then we're back at the tree. Yeah, so that's a little side quest field trip to the Frida mine. So there's the entrance. There's my Frida. And the parking spot, because I haven't fully found a turnaround up there. Here's the first sign. Pretty obvious if you pull up into this area that you know, you got a federal mining claim sign here, location monument with my paperwork right there, and my super awesome port wine bottle. And then the road going up, put another sign on that tree. It was just funny, Frida saw the sign, she started barking at it. It's the only time she barks if she sees something, which is real good for me, but it's pretty obvious. If you get this far down this or up this road, then you are clearly disobeying the law. But next stop, we'll fill up a couple bags of ore while we're here, and I can show you the high-grade vein that I've been working. So this is going to be my future camp. It's a nice big flat opening. It's not really flat by the looks of it. It's got all this cattail, I think it's called mesquite or cat claw. Little bits of metal here. It's interesting because that's a little bit far from the developed area, but here we're starting to walk up to the outcrop. Frida's already all the way up there, but you can see this granite and how this granite hasn't been weathered as much as this granite. It just literally breaks apart, and it's pretty distinctive, especially right there. Like, it's maybe on a slick, but decomposing granite, not as decomposed granite. And all this rock I moved myself, unless someone else has been here without me. But yeah, here's some ore. Got my slick sheet still. Yeah, so I've been running into this interesting granite that's been altered, and it looks like it's been mineralized. It's turning red. You can see a lot of it here, but this is the vein I've been working. It's very, very narrow, very narrow. You can hardly see it right here because I've got just so much overburden on the top. It's kind of what I was doing when I was here last, cleaning off the overburden. But here's another look at the vein. And we've been working on it, me and my buddy. You can see right in here, might be able to pull out some nice quartz. Yeah, even pulled some of the granite with it. So that's what you want, those layers that are touching either on this side, the hanging wall, or the foot wall. That's where the gold's going to be. But this spot's kind of sketchy to work in. I mean, it's all sketchy to work in really, but there's a lot of overhanging rock right here. I've had to take a little bit of it out here and there, but just for safety, I'm not going to work here. But a really awesome thing about this spot in particular is, I don't know if you can see, but the vein starts to curve right there. And it also does that on the other side, and that's how I figured out this was in fact the vein. But on this side, there's two veins. There's one vein here, and then there's one vein here. So maybe the veins conjoined over there and they started to split apart and drift here. But there's another look at another vein. But I did samples on this and that, and this one gave me way better gold. So considering that, at the moment, this is the spot that I'm going to be working, and I'm going to get to it. Stop wasting time. So this slick sheet worked pretty good. If anyone's wondering, it is not a tarp. It's repurposed. It's one of those things truckers use in between loads. It's just basically like an inflatable sack, just in case they got like this much room in the trailer, and you know, it's 2 pallets high, just so it doesn't wobble around and the skids get you know, unaligned. But this is the vein. It starts to widen out here. Got to get some of this debris out of here. But yeah, the vein here gets about this wide and it peters out up there. But I'll pull some out here in a second and show you guys. All right, so I'm working this spot right here, basically chasing the vein, but trying to discern what's vein and what's granite right here. So I just got through all of the loose debris on top. But there you can see the vein right here. Goes right there. Let me see if I can get a chunk out here. Yeah, that's quartz that I just hit with some granite on the side. Yeah, so whoop. Yeah, I'll just continue. I'll continue on this and I'll get a piece of rock out. Already got the hammer drill set up, charged up. All right, so start right here. Let's take a look at that. Yeah, look at that. So altered quartz, there's that blue stuff, or altered granite, sorry. Some of that blue stuff on the side. Here's some of the alteration too. But yeah, it's very loose on the top, and whenever you start getting in a little bit more, that's when the ore becomes pretty solid. So there we go. There's a good chunk. It's got the reds, the blues, the greens, the blacks, the yellows, basically all the colors you want to see in ore when you're mining. So with that, I'm gonna continue my work. It's a little bit hard picking out what's what whenever they're right next to each other and there's all this loose material on top, but once you get a good look at it, you know what you're looking at. This one's a little bit of granite, but it's nice and red, so I'll throw that in the bag too. Nice vuggy dark red. It's got this clay on the one side. I've been taking the clay as well. I'm not sure if it holds anything, but could be copper oxidizing out. I did find some chalcopyrite in this ore, so that could be what it is. So I'm starting to pull solid pieces out. Look how dark red that is. See some of the quartz on that side. Yeah. Yeah, that's real good stuff. Now I'm not sure what that red is, but could be iron, could be something worse like cinnabar, but I've roasted this stuff through a retort and I haven't gotten any mercury, so that tells me that it's not cinnabar. So with that, I can handle it with my hands just fine. It looks like this was part of the slick. Oh, see all that coloration and then that clay on the one side, that greenish clay. Yeah. This area assayed at around 140 grams of precious metal per ton of ore. So that's a crazy number to me, considering I've only been able to recover with my mediocre processing equipment roughly 14 grams to 20 grams per ton. So a world of a difference, and I'm trying to figure out how I could make that better, or how I have been potentially making it worse. So this part of mining is just figuring out what type of ore you have and working with it the best fashion that makes sense. But I'm so thankful that the sun went away. Makes working here a whole lot easier. So one last thing to show y'all before I skedaddle out of here. I'm just gonna pop this puppy open. Look at that. Look at that blue, that clay right there. It just plops right off. But I want to see what the ore on the inside looks like. Rusty on the one side, not so much on the other. What that tells me right there is one side of the vein is richer than the other side. I'm thinking right side is richer than the left side. So we'll see if that actually makes sense. But, you know, you show this to any prospector and their eyes will shine up, that's for sure. And the vein's getting thicker, which I'm in love with. But with that, I'm out. All packed up. I got my tiny bag of ore. I'm gonna do an assay on this another time to see if the values are getting better as I move down. I haven't moved down that much, maybe 6 to 8 inches, but you know, it could be a big difference, and it could be nothing, but it also could be double. But you don't know unless you assay it. So it's a foolproof method. When in doubt, smelt it out. Oh. So we got some brecciation here. Could be a breccia pipe around the halo of the breccia pipes. That's where good gold is. Well, that's all that I have today at the Frida mine. Time to go get some Mexican food for Taco Tuesday. Peace out, y'all. Like and subscribe if you want to see more. I'll put up some smelting videos here in a little bit. It's just a work in progress. If you've ever done it, you understand what I mean.